Now it's time for a quick timeout, but we have plenty more to come. In a moment, we'll take you back to Axtell, check on one of the best 8-man teams in the state. Highlights of the Wildcats and Ansley next on Sports Extra. Goes off tackle, he gets outside, and see you later. A 34-yard touchdown, and it's 6-0. The Warriors then march down the field on their next possession. Kurt Kohanek throws deep. Sean Case makes the grab over the shoulder. He's forced out of bounds at the 2. The very next play, Jeff Moore trots in from 2 yards out, virtually untouched, and it's 14-0 Ansley. This one was all Warriors. Kohanek later on connects with Case again. This time, Case will take the short pass over the middle and take it 51 yards. That makes it 28-0 in the first quarter. And I don't believe we have a final score on this one yet, but we'll give you the score anyway. It's 28-0 at the second. Obviously, this game is over, but, well, that's the most recent score we have for you. Well, tonight was also a busy night in other high school action. Arapahoe gets past Alma. Alma could have clinched a spot in the playoffs with the win. Arapahoe makes themselves a little bit closer to the playoffs with a 19-14 win in the RVL. St. Paul doubles things over Central City 12-6. Amherst 37-14 over Medicine Valley. Loup County outscores Alva 48-12. Spalding a 65-33 winner over Marquette. SEM makes it to the playoffs by shutting out Clarks 34-0. Beaver City, that is not a misprint, 85-52 over Wilcox. Needless to say, outscoring them. The Culbertson Bears make the playoffs. They outscore Wallace 64-34. The Knights of Eustis Farnham over Arnold 27-14. Harvard is a 14-6 winner over Red Cloud. Lindsay Holy Family over Howells. Final score of this one of 48-36. Well, tonight was also a busy night for high school volleyball. We'll check on those results. We'll start with Silver Lake in 2 sets over Clay Center, 15-4 and 15-8. Axtell only needing 2 to get past Ansley. Elm Creek over Kennesaw in 2. Orleans is now 5-11, getting past Guide Rock in straight sets today. Shickley improves their record to 18-2, needing 3 sets to get past a very good Lawrence team, 15-6 in the third. Hildreth 15-4 in the third over Milligan as they improve their record to 13-5. Benedict is now 9-7 with the win over Hampton. Eustis Farnham 14-4 with a straight sets win over Arnold. Wallace is now 14-5 after defeating Culbertson. Hayes Center needed 3 to get past Maywood. Hayes Center is now 20-0 on the season. Bertrand loses to Cambridge. Cambridge 15-6 in the third. Centura in 3 sets over Loop City. Friend in 2 over Bradshaw. Bradshaw is now 1-13 on the year. Elwood 10-9 on the season now as they get past Overton. Alma over Arapahoe in 3 sets. It was Loomis over Nelson in 2, 15-11 and 15-7. And now it's time for us to take a short break, but in a moment we'll run down the playoff picture and we'll talk football with the head coaches at UNK and Hastings College. That's next on Sports Extra. Points in the second half. And it isn't even close to being enough. 80-52 the final score there. Well, last weekend, the UNK football team dominated Mesa State, winning 38-14. The Lopers collected 7 Mesa turnovers, rolled up 520 yards of total offense, including 287 yards passing by quarterback Ken Terry. Well, Saturday, the Lopers will hit the road to take on Northern State in Aberdeen, South Dakota. After winning 5 of the last 6, I asked head coach Claiborne if this team was one of his best in recent years.
Well, I think we're playing well. I think we can play better as a total football team. I think it's a team that I hope will continue to improve, clear up through their last football game. I think we have shown a great deal of improvement, but there's always areas that we can work harder on and be better at. I'm really happy for the improvement that we've made, and I do think we're playing well at this point in time.
Of course, this week you'll be facing somewhat of a wide-open offense. Last week, Northern quarterback Kip Kiso threw for 495 yards.
They run an offense that's patterned after Brigham Young University. They know their offense. They have a good understanding of it. Their quarterback did have a great day against Minnesota Morris. I think their tight end caught 11 or 12 passes for lots of yards. And we're certainly going to have to play good defense in terms of containing them and not giving them the long home run. They've been able to get that against most teams they've played. And then I think on the other side of the coin, our offense is going to have some good ball control. We're going to have to keep their offense on the sideline. I think our offense has improved dramatically, and and I hope they'll continue to improve and be able to help our defense out a great deal in this game.
Do you have anything special planned to try to slow down Northern State's offense, something like you came up with against Wayne, that cop defense?
We'll run a similar type things. We're going to stay within our complete package, Randy. We're not going to go out and change anything. I think we know our defense well. We've played it against all the opponents that we've been involved with this year, and I think our defense has just continually gotten better and better and better, and I think they're playing exceptionally well right now. So I think it'd be a mistake for us to go in and make a lot of wholesale changes, which we have not done that, and we'll just have to rise to the occasion. I think you always have coverages that you would look at based upon a particular team, and certainly we're no different than this particular game. We're going to have some things that perhaps Northern will not have seen us done maybe as much, but hopefully we can execute them well and be able to corral their passing game.
Going back to the improvement your team has made, let's talk offensive improvement, especially with your quarterback, Ken Terry.
Well, I think a lot of Ken Terry's improvement just comes from having a lot of experience. I mean, when you consider the first game of the season to where he is 8 games later, he's come a tremendously long distance. I think he has an excellent understanding of our offense. He has made a lot of real critical automatics in our games where we have been successful. He's taking a lot better care of the football than what he did when he first started, and I think that's, again, just feeling more comfortable at your position. Also, I think that his supporting cast is doing a good job. I think he's getting some excellent help from his wide receivers. They made some good catches. I think our pass protection has been good, and I think our running game has improved quite a bit, and that helps the passing game also.
Well, Northern State is 4-4 on the season, riding a 4-game winning streak. Game time Saturday in Aberdeen is 1:30. Well, Hastings College is well on their way to the repeat. Last year, the Broncos made it to the national playoffs, and they're looking to return in '92. With a win this week, Hastings College will be at 6-2 and have clinched the conference title. NTV's Lance Schwartz has more with the Broncos head coach, Dan Kratzer.
Bounced back this last weekend with your 5th straight win against Dana. Tell me about that game, and you had to be pleased.
Well, we were a slow starting team, but yeah, we're very pleased with our performance against Dana. You know, this has been it's been an interesting season for us. We had a lot of high expectations, and we started off 0-2, but quite frankly, we got better as the season has gone along, and we are continuing to get better. We played a very tough football team at Dana this past week. Very capable, have one of the best quarterbacks in the country at our level, and have a couple of running backs that, quite frankly, would play on any team in our conference and start, and a couple of outstanding receivers. So we have our hands full, but we were able to get it accomplished this week.
Coming into this season, this is probably the point you were looking forward to. You can clinch the conference this weekend. Tell me about the game with Concordia and what you look forward to in that one.
Well, you know, it's kind of unusual when you can win the conference and you still have 2 conference games left with a victory. Quite frankly, Concordia is a very improved football team from last year. We clinched the conference title against them last year. They were our last game, and it was the Snow Bowl, we recall. They had to grade 6 inches of snow off their field before we could play, and we had to delay it one day, had to play it on a Sunday. But hopefully it'll be a little bit different weather-wise this year. But they're a good football team. They're 4-4 overall, 2-2 in the conference. Very good running back, very respectable quarterback, and a defensive unit that has the front 5 people back and intact, and 3 starting seniors there that have been playing together for a while. So it'll be a very interesting football game.
Well, let's hope a win against Concordia can jump you up in the ratings like it did last week, from 22 to 16th this week. And it looks like somebody's finally noticing what the Broncos have this year.
Well, I think so. And, you know, I think they recall and remember what we did last year. And, of course, we got in the playoffs and won our first playoff game ever. And, you know, as I said, I feel all along that we're as good as any of the top 10 teams in the country at our level. Our program and what we have to offer and what we're getting done in our program. But again, you know, the ratings, as we creep up towards the end of the season, that's fine. We just want to stay in that top 20, and we want to win our conference.
Well, kickoff is set for 1:30 on Saturday as the Broncos will host Concordia and look to go 5-0 in the Nebraska-Iowa Athletic Conference. Well, it's time for us to take a break, but in a moment, we'll paint the high school football playoff picture, and we'll give you our final rankings of the season. That's next on Sports Extra.